Good morning, students. This is K. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in the Department of SNH, Chevron Engineering College. Topic polarization. And today we discuss about the half wave plate and full wave plate. So in the last session, we discussed about the Nicol prism. Let us once again I explain that regarding very important question. So why Nicol prism is different as compared with the double refraction in Galisite crystal. So the construction is different. Here, this is the construction of Nicol prism. Actually, A, B, C, D. So this is the actual plane of the principal section. So here the first step is, now the end faces are grounded, which the angles 71 degrees and 109 degrees, that means corner angles are grounded to convert their angles as 68 degrees and 112 degrees. And the second step is the crystal is cut into two pieces, which is perpendicular to the plane of principal section. And again, these two pieces are grounded and polished, and they are joined together by a material Canada blossom. So here the Canada blossom is a material which its refractive index is lying between refractive index of ordinary ray and extraordinary ray for calcite. Here these are the values of refractive index of the ordinary ray and refractive index of the Canada blossom. Here the refractive index of the ordinary ray is 1.6584 and Canada blossom refractive index is 1.55 and extraordinary ray refractive index is 1.484. That is, Canada blossom is act as a rarer medium for O ray and denser medium for E ray. So due to this impact, an unpolarized light is incident on this plane. Here it is an unpolarized light, it consisting of more than one direction. Actually, this is the calcite crystal. Whenever an unpolarized light is incident on it, it splits into two refracted rays, that is E ray and O ray. Actually, here it is the Canada blossom material is cemented. Due to that reason, only E ray is emitted through the material, but the O ray is undergoes a total internal reflection. That means the main application of Nicol prism is we separately collect the E ray and O ray. So in this direction, we collect the extraordinary ray. At this direction, we collect the ordinary ray. So Nicol prism is used as a polarizer as well as analyzer. When you observe this figure, here this is Canada blossom. Whenever an ordinary light is incident on it, so it splits into two parts. one is one refracted ray is E ray, and another refracted ray is O ray. So due to this Canada blossom, this O ray is completely undergoes total internal reflection. Only E ray is only emitted through this direction. When another Nicol prism is also placed in as in a parallel position, then only these E ray passed through this material. Whenever the Nicol prism is placed in a perpendicular position, the E ray cannot pass through this crystal because it is completely based on the direction. So this is the direction of the E ray, but here the crystal is placed in a perpendicular manner. The E ray cannot pass through this direction. So that's why here the second crystal is act as a analyzer. That means whether the light is polarized light or not. It's simply used for the purpose to check the polarizer character. So that's why first crystal is first Nicol prism is act as a polarizer, and the second Nicol prism is act as a analyzer. Okay, so this is the explanation about the Nicol prism. In exam point of view, it is a very important question. And the next topic is types of crystals. We have two types of uniaxial crystals are there. Positive crystal and a negative crystal. So which one crystal is act as a positive and which crystal is act as a negative? Okay. Let us assume a point source inside the crystal at its center. The wave corresponding to O ray travels with same velocity in all directions, resulting a sphere. The wave corresponding to E ray travels with a different velocity in a different direction. So resulting is ellipse. That means simply O ray means it is a circular polarized light type. That means it travels like a circular polarized light. Whereas E ray is a travel like a elliptical shape like this. Okay. But this O ray and E ray both are traveling in same velocity along optic axis. Same velocity along optic axis. So here, what is meant by positive uniaxial crystal? Already we discussed in what is meant by uniaxial crystal and what is meant by biaxial crystal. Uniaxial crystals means crystals having only one optic axis are named as uniaxial crystals. Crystals having two optic axes, so they are called biaxial crystals. But here we discuss about the only positive and negative uniaxial crystals. So first we discuss about the positive uniaxial crystal. So for example, this is the direction of optic axis in the crystal. In this direction, both O ray and E ray travel with the same velocity. When you observe this figure, here the continuous lines indicates the O ray The continuous lines indicates the O ray and the dotted lines indicates the E ray. How we confirm that? O ray means it is in the shape of circular. E ray is in the form of elliptical shape. That means whenever O light ray is passed in the optic axis, that is in the shape of circular. Whenever an E ray passes in this optic axis, that is moves in the shape of elliptical. Okay, now it is clear what is O ray wave and what is E wave. Then, basing on the velocity of E ray and O ray, again uniaxial crystals are divided into two types, positive and negative. Okay, so which one is positive uniaxial crystal? In these crystals, example quartz, velocity of E ray is less than velocity of O ray. That means when you observe the figure, in first figure, the O ray is in first position. After that, the E ray follows the O ray. That means the velocity of O ray is greater than as compared with E ray. That's why here the first ray is O ray. How we confirm the first ray is O ray? It is in a circular shape. And the next wave is E ray. So that's why it is inside the O ray. That means first O ray travels. After some time, E ray travels. So what is the shape of these two waves? O ray shape is in a circular shape. E ray is in elliptical shape. So as the velocity of O ray is more, so that's why when you observe the figure, here the O ray, that means the circle is first position. After that, E ray, that is in elliptical shape. So this case is called positive uniaxial crystal. First of all, what is meant by uniaxial crystal? Both are travel in one direction, same direction. But as O ray travels faster compared with the E ray, then that type of uniaxial crystal is called positive. So the first figure A indicates the positive crystal. And what about the negative crystal? When you observe the figure, here the dotted lines, which is in the shape of elliptical. So E ray moves faster as compared with O ray. So this is the shape of the negative uniaxial crystal. That means the velocity of E ray is greater than that of O ray. That's why the spherical wavefront of O ray lies inside the elliptical. Inside the elliptical. So here, both the positive and negative crystals exist in same quartz material. But the variation is depending upon the velocities of E ray and O ray. If velocity of O ray is more, then it is called positive uniaxial crystal. If the velocity of E ray is more, then it is called negative uniaxial crystal. Both are uniaxial crystal. Why they are positive and negative means that is depends upon the velocity of the E ray and O ray. So this is about the positive and negative crystals, uniaxial crystals. And next very important topic is wave plates. So here there are two types of wave plates. These wave plates are introduced or mainly developed based on path difference between O ray and E ray. So as velocity of O ray is more, automatically the light traveling distance is more. So that means O ray is more fast as compared with E ray. Automatically between O ray and E ray, there is some path difference. Okay. So that path difference creates the concept of a quarter wave plate and half wave plate. So let us discuss about that. Here we use a double refracting crystal, automatically example calcite. So now the calcite crystal is cut along the optic axis plane. Now this is a glass plate, which is a calcite glass plate, and it is cut into along the optic axis. When you observe that, so this is the direction of the optic axis. Now the thickness of the glass plate is T. So from the first figure, A, it is a negative crystal. How we confirm that it is a negative crystal? As you observe the figure, E ray is moves faster as compared with O ray. So when you observe the figure, here the dotted lines is in the shape of elliptical. So automatically it is an E ray. So E ray is faster as compared with O ray. So there is some path difference between these two waves. Okay. And next, what about the positive crystal? In positive crystal, O ray moves faster than E ray. So that's why here there is also again a path difference between these two waves. That means the thickness of the crystal is the same, but depending upon the velocity of E ray and O ray, these crystals are act as a negative and a positive crystals. Due to difference in their path difference, here, if the path difference is lambda by 2, then it is called half wave plate. If the path difference is lambda by 4, then that plate is act as a quarter wave plate. Okay, right. Let us discuss briefly about that. When an unpolarized light, so this is the unpolarized light of wavelength lambda, incident normally on the crystal surface. So already I said that it is a double refracting crystal. So automatically when unpolarized light is incident on the crystal, it splits into two refracting rays, which are O ray and E ray. But as the velocity of E ray is more, it travels faster than O ray. So automatically it is called negative crystal. So in negative crystal, what is the path traveled by the O ray? So how much distance in this plate light traveled? This length only. What is the length of the plate? Which is the thickness of the plate. For example, if you take any room, So this is the room. For example, this is the room having thickness T, okay. Now a light travel through this room. How much it travels? How much distance it travels? Which is equal to thickness of the room or length of the room. Similarly, when O ray travels through this calcite crystal, how much light is travel, how much length is travel, that is equivalent to thickness. So actually, the path traveled by the O ray is thickness. We already discussed in basic. The light traveled distance is compulsory multiply with the refractive index. We did not just write the light travel distance like a 5 centimeters and 4 centimeters like that. We compulsory multiply with the corresponding or respective refractive index of that medium. For example, if this is, this is a room, when light traveling through this room, so this is the room length is like 5 meters. Then I ask, what is the path traveled by the light in this room? Then the answer is 5 into refractive index of that room. So we cannot write just only the distance of the light to travel. We compulsory multiply with the respective refractive index of that medium. Then total this value is equal to the path traveled by the light. Similarly, here path traveled by the O ray is, you cannot write only distance T. You compulsory multiply with the refractive index. So automatically the refractive index of the O ray is indicated by mu naught. So the optical path O ray is mu naught T. Similarly, for E ray, mu E T. Then what is the path difference between? So this is the E ray and this is the O ray. Then what is the path difference between these two rays? Is mu naught minus mu E. So here mu naught T minus mu E T. So mu naught T minus mu E T. By commoning the T here, so simply we get the path difference between O ray and E ray is mu naught minus mu. Here why use like a difference symbol? If in case we use positive crystal, then mu naught minus mu E. If in case we take negative crystal, then mu E minus mu naught. That means this formula we can change depending upon the type of crystal. That's why here we cannot use direct symbol minus. Just we use like a difference symbol. If in case it is negative crystal, then this formula is mu E minus mu naught. If in case it is a positive crystal, then this formula is mu naught minus mu E. Okay. So this is the path difference between E ray and O ray. But actually, in a quarter wave plate, what is the meaning of a quarter wave plate means? Here the light travel distance is lambda by 4. This is the path difference between the E ray and O ray. And this is the path difference traveled by the light. So by comparing these two values, finally we get the thickness of the glass plate T is equal to, by cross multiplying here, lambda by 4 into mu naught minus mu. Similarly, the thickness of the plate, if the path difference is lambda by 2, that means here, when you observe that for a quarter wave plate, so this is the complete wave, okay? Whenever a wave passes through this glass plate, quarter wave plate means it travels only This is the lambda by 4 path. Lambda by 2 means, so this is the lambda by 2 path. That means whenever a light travel through quarter wave plate, that means only lambda by 4 wave only passed through that glass plate. If in case we use half wave plate, then a half light, a half wavelength light only passed through it. Actually, this is the full wavelength of the light, but the meaning of a quarter wave plate means light travels only lambda by 4 distance, lambda by 4 length. If half wave plate means the light travels only lambda by 2 distance. Okay, so that is the meaning of a quarter wave plate and a half wave plate. So same, whatever we discuss in quarter wave plate, that is path difference is equivalent to lambda by 4. So T is equal to lambda by 4 into mu naught minus mu e. Similarly, if in case that is a half wave plate, so already we discussed that, that means light travels only lambda by 2 length. That means only this is the lambda by 2. If in case complete wave, this is the complete wave. Okay. So what is lambda by 4? Here it is the lambda by 4. It is lambda by 2. So completely up to here it is the lambda. But in half wave plate means the light travels only lambda by 2 distance. So that's why it is called half wave plate. So same, the path difference between E ray and O ray is equivalent to lambda by 2. So by cross multiplying here, we get to T is equal to lambda by 2 into mu naught difference mu e. I already explained that why here we use the difference. So this difference is depending upon the whether it is positive or negative crystal. In the next session, we briefly discussing about the entire polarization with the pictures and their various applications in various fields. After that, we discuss about the problems on entire wave optics chapter. Thank you to all.